We open on the dwarfers having discovered an unnamed planet.
I humbly name this moon Rimmer.
Hey, one Rimmer world was more than enough. Hey, I think it's been a while since we saw the Rimmer salute.
To Rimmer, a moon rich in helium-7, the most valuable gas in the universe.
To Rimmer, so full of gas.
But Crichton chimes in with information about a solar storm coming in, so they won't be able to mine the planet.
It's rarer than an ungroped bottom at the BBC in the 1970s.
Oh yeah, we're getting off to a great start with this episode. After they leave, they find out that it wasn't a solar storm after all.
Looks like a big wibbly-wobbly tidal wave thing, and it's heading straight for us.
Once they're hit with it, Crichton figures out that it was a time wave. Title drop.
A time wave is created by an imploding black hole, causing space-time to contort into a series of waves. When the wave moves forward, artifacts from the past can be washed up into the present.
And now they have to avoid hitting any more. But due to that, they've encountered a ship from the 24th century.
And their ship possesses a faster-than-light drive.
And it's locked into a collision course with planet Rimmer.
Is planet Rimmer going to be okay?
The impact is likely to cause an explosion.
And kill planet Rimmer?
And kill everything in this vicinity.
Including planet Rimmer?
God damn it, just tell Rimmer you're gonna save his damn planet.
This mechanoid is reversing.
Okay, that's a cute gag. So they're on the way to boarding with the other ship, so Crichton gets the crew up to speed on some unusual laws there.
Well, on their ship, criticism is illegal.
A ship free of criticism, what a place that must be. And no one gets mocked or ridiculed.
That's what they say, but they'll never hold out after they meet you.
I can see why Rimmer would feel like he's had his fill of criticism.
You screw up and no one tells you. What good's that?
I know it's just kind of the norm on this show for Lister to be the voice of reason, but with how much he hates taking orders and especially doesn't like being criticized by Rimmer, I'm not sure it's in character for him to be in the criticism is good camp. Maybe as a lesson he learned at the end of the episode, but in the beginning? Then again, he has grown a lot over the series, so maybe he would have learned that lesson already. Anyway, Crichton reminds them that they can't be seen criticizing each other, which is going to be one hell of a task.
A whole hour? In that case, you better pack earplugs and 6 rolls of duct tape.
Crichton ends up pointing out that criticism can be bad when the one giving it is doing it to make themselves feel superior.
Too much dopamine is like taking cocaine, sir.
So people who criticize get high on criticism.
It seems they become addicted.
But criticism can be good, can't it? I mean, it forces people to become better.
Crichton mentions that Lister himself tends to ignore criticism, at least when it comes to his guitar playing.
You still utterly suck, sir.
Which gives me an idea of how I think this episode could have been handled better, but I'm getting ahead of myself.
So long, Plucker. Hello, Davy, 3 chords.
So when they get there, there's a lot of bad artwork on the walls, and bad performance poetry.
I am a fruit, a lovely fruit. Let me play the flute.
And if you think this episode is hitting you over the head with this message already, boy are you in for some pain.
My friends!
Duct tape on standby, sirs.
Okay, so this guy apologizes for not responding to their messages, but the ship is basically broken because people can do whatever they want on this ship, so those who are experts in one field are working in another one because they feel like it. Lister warns him about the planet they're about to collide with.
I love your accent. It is cuter than a kitten with a toilet roll.
Well, I wouldn't have worded it quite that way, but I agree that Lister has a cute accent, though it's faded a bit over the years, I've noticed.
Now, let me take you along to our diner, and then I'm gonna hunt down our captain, okay? This way.
The Inconium crew are encouraged to express themselves without fear of scorn or ridicule. When in Rome, do as the Romans do.
I mean, you can avoid criticizing the guy without doing things exactly the way he does. Though it's kind of cute seeing the dwarfers do this.
Hey, Bud, you should stick around. The arm song could go platinum here.
Good lord. As you probably know by now, I'm all for callbacks, but how have they managed to mention the Om song 2 episodes in a row this season? Once is unexpected and cute. Twice, especially so close together, is just lazy. Like, that's not the only song Lister has made up.
The dwindling, the kindling, all the indling. I love all that stuff.
There's only 2 things that rhyme with Kachansky. I used Underpansky twice.
So yeah, they had plenty of examples to pull from to make a gag about Lister's bad music. Of course, Rimmer likes it there.
No one cares if you're right or wrong, good or bad. Maybe they're onto something.
Keep in mind, he also felt at home at Era's headquarters. Now I wish I was watching that episode.
Back in the day, I misrepaired a drive plate and killed over 1,000 people. Now, in our culture, That sort of thing is really frowned upon.
Anyway, a waitress brings them food out of nowhere, and probably just out of force of habit, they tell her that they didn't order it. So now they're in trouble.
Are you criticising me?
No, he's not criticising you. I am. This food looks gross.
Now that was just dumb.
Let's get out of here.
East Island head's right.
Easter Island Head, that's a new one. So they try to go back to Starbug but are arrested by Crit Cop before they can leave the ship.
Good evening, sir.
Evening, officer.
Been doing any criticising this evening, sir?
I have to admit, I do like this actor. His name is Johnny Vegas, and he's been in a lot of BBC shows that I haven't seen.
Well, it's just that we had a report of some illegal castigation in the diner this evening, sir.
Apparently it was on his bucket list to be in an episode of Red Dwarf, so I guess one good thing came out of this.
A little bit of chiding, perhaps?
Seriously though, this old-timey cop act is really cute.
You got a reading of 95, sir. It means that your friend is way over the criticism limit, sir.
Wait a minute.
You're telling me to wait, sir?
Well, yes.
Implying that I'm going too fast and therefore criticising me.
Things get kind of tense, and Cat is already known for not being able to keep his mouth shut, so...
I'm gonna let you off with a caution.
Caution? How dumb is this guy?
He just totally lets loose on this guy.
Hey, Lieutenant Asshole.
Which I kinda love.
If you don't move your dumbass spaceship, we're gonna be flatter than your wife's droopy-ass titties, capiche?
So they're put in a cell they end up having to share with this Hannibal Lecter-looking guy.
All right, mate. How you doing? I've been better. I'll tell you that.
It turns out that he's serving a lifelong sentence for tutting.
I'm in the queue. In the canteen. Finally, I get to the front, and they say, "Sorry, love. We've just closed." So I go.
Okay, I kinda like this guy too. But they need to escape, and Crichton has an idea of how to blow the door open using some of the soil from the Rimmer planet that's on the bottom of Lister's boot with another chemical that Crichton just carries around, apparently.
Why do you collect isotope samples and keep them in your arm?
Why do you collect miniature Napoleonic soldiers and keep them in your locker?
You're weird.
Here goes the door.
Take me with you. I promise I'm no danger to the outside world anymore.
Predictable, but kinda cute.
Sure, you can see. A society without criticism is
We
utterly...
don't know what it was like before.
So Crit Cop is back and mentions that no one was getting anything done before because all they did was argue. But now that there are laws against criticism...
Nobody could criticise the criticism law because it was illegal to criticise! Idiots!
Uh-oh.
God, I've not done that for ages. That felt good!
Okay, ew. Anyway, he's about to let them go.
Oh, by the way, you are way too old to be wearing leather pants.
Nobody move!
And they're taken to the criticism extraction room.
Now, you will no longer turn down opportunities for fear of failure or humiliation. You will only feel love for all things.
Rimmer tries to take control of the situation.
And protected as I am, under Space Corps Directive 381286, Crichton shut up.
I love that reference to the Space Corps directives gag. So Rimmer ends up going first and he tries to fight it.
My parents were lovely, wise, thoughtful, and supportive. Ah, my brother Howard, what an utter bastard!
But then ends up overloading it naturally. And the extraction is kinda terrifying.
I'm Rimmer's inner critic.
Yikes.
You need me. I protect you.
That's some really good makeup for this show, too.
I hate you. You'd never let me take any risks ever.
Another complaint that could be made about this episode is that we explored Rimmer's psyche in just the last one. I mean, I like when the show does that, but in 2 episodes back to back? Though I do kind of like that they defeat Rimmer's inner critic.
I stop you from making a fool of yourself.
But he's always making a fool of himself.
Yeah. You're not doing a very good job, are you? Where were you when Rimmer was fixing that drive plate, wiped out the crew?
By criticizing it.
It failed.
That's really horrible.
It failed.
What have we learned, kids?
You achieved a positive end by using criticism to vanquish a foe.
Because you can't tar all criticism with one brush.
Jesus, My Little Pony is more subtle with its lessons, and it's for 6-year-olds. Anyway, Ziggy repeals the law against criticism and lets the dwarfers go.
I'll request our engineers simply return to their jobs, and then we'll be out of here in a brief contraction of forward space.
Later on, he's trying to think of a way to thank them.
For you. It's my finest work.
Oh, don't take this the wrong way, but, it's not that good, to be honest.
To be fair, you really shouldn't criticize a gift.
I repeal the law. Critics!
And we made it through Timewave. Okay, so I actually don't totally hate this episode. It's really not a bad premise. Some of the jokes are funny in my opinion, and I liked Crit Cop and the Tutter. But unfortunately, it really hits you over the head with its message. I mean, Red Dwarf doesn't tend to be subtle per se, but this one really kind of treats its audience like they're idiots. Also, maybe they didn't intend this, but I think it's kind of a bad look the way they made everything overly colorful with pink uniforms, down to one guy looking like he's straight out of a pride parade, i.e. there are some exaggerated gay stereotypes here. And I don't know that it's even offensive. If nothing else, it's just lazy. Speaking of, wouldn't it make more sense if a ship full of people not allowed to criticize each other just became really lazy? I think it'd be funnier if they encountered basically a ship full of listers who just lay around eating curry and playing the guitar badly and such. I think that'd be kind of an amusing commentary on who Lister is, and I mentioned earlier that I wasn't sure if Lister would be in the criticism is good camp, and this would be a good way to get him there. Maybe seeing all these people who exhibit all his negative traits makes him take a harder look at himself. Of course, it probably wouldn't stick, but it'd make for some good temporary character growth. But yeah, as it is, this episode kind of comes across like it's based on a conversation had by grumpy old people complaining about millennials these days in their safe spaces. I mean, if nothing else, South Park beat them to that message 3 years before. So yeah, I hadn't mentioned this before, but seasons 11 and 12 were all done together, and it really shows with this one. It wasn't all bad, but it really could have done with some rewrites. Though it is kind of funny that the episode that tries to condone criticism is the one that gets the most of it. Congratulations, I guess. Next up is Mechocracy. See you then.
In the same spirit of benevolence, I've also graciously agreed to lend my name to the star this moon orbits, which from this moment on shall be known as Sunny Rim.